Good, we got it recording.
Great. Do you have to let everybody in, or people just, you don't need to? They just
Nope,
pop
once I
on?
start the webinar, they're coming in now.
Great. Good, I got some early morning texts. I didn't get my link. I sent those out.
Oh, good, thank you. Welcome, everyone. We'll give it a few more minutes. Everybody's coming in quickly, but we will give it just a minute before we get started. But thank you all for joining us.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. I'm dialing in from freezing New York. Ice. I'm surrounded in ice, and actually the heater is not working in my studio. So I've got some chilly fingers. I'm gonna be on my on my keyboard doing the presentation, so that'll keep me warm. How is it where you are, Carrie?
It is still a little chilly, but much nicer. The snow is starting to melt just in time for more on Friday.
Really? So, oh gosh. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you know, things kind of shut down around here when it snows. So, but it was over the weekend, so it worked out.
Oh, good. Good.
Yeah.
We want to get, everybody needs their little dose of snow and sledding and
a little sledding.
Yeah, so good.
Awesome. Well, I think that we can go ahead and get started. Excuse me. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for Growing Connections, Clients, and Alliances, a social media case study with Jana Platina Phipps. My name is Carrie Dillon. I'm the Managing Director of the International Textile Alliance, or ITA. The ITA is a nonprofit business association whose members include textile mills, leather tanneries, trimmings manufacturers, and suppliers that support our industry. We are the producer of the biannual Showtime Market, and we have an educational foundation focused on educating our members and bringing new talent into the industry. Our next Showtime event will be on May 22nd through the 25th. We have many exciting announcements related to the show coming in February, and that's what inspired this webinar today. We want to give our members the tools to share all the good news that's coming, so stay tuned. And with that, I am pleased to introduce my mentor and friend, Jana Platina Phipps, also known as Trim Queen. Jana is an ITA member, a former board member, a young textile professionals mentor, and advisor for the Design Influencers Conference. She has built a large community on social media and empowers brands, creatives, and entrepreneurs with social media agility, a proprietary training she developed in 2020. Jana is a sought-after business development consultant and was recently named a 2020 High Point Market Style Spotter for her industry acumen and influence. And we are thrilled to have her with us today. Thank you, Jana. And with that, I will turn it over to you.
Great. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you, everyone. I'm really excited to be here, and I just love sharing what I've learned on social media, and I love to empower others with what I know and what can help everyone grow and increase their business and self-expression. So I'm going to share my screen. Let's go here. Let me share this. Give me a second. I gotta go back a little bit. Okay. All right. So really psyched to be here, growing connections, clients, and alliances. That's what social media is all about. And I just want to say good morning to my textile family. And again, I'm going to share some social media agility. That's the training that I teach to groups, and also I teach privately to clients, to brands, to creatives, and to entrepreneurs. All right, there we go. Oh, hold on here. There we go. We missed one. So thanks, Carrie, for the introduction. I love this industry, and if we don't know one another yet, we will. So you can find me at Trim Queen on all socials, or Jana at trimqueen.com. Okay, so if you attended Erica Sarit's webinar on storytelling, you really understand the importance of telling your brand story online, right? Ooh. Oh, wow, we missed one. Hold on. This is a little clunky today. Okay, let's see. Boom. Okay. And basically, if you're clear on your branding, your digital marketing will be the vehicle to tell your story of your brand, of your business, and even personally, because I know we have a lot of different people on the call today. So whether you're a brand, whether you're a small business, or whether you're a rep, or if you're a designer, all of these tools apply to every part. So today, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to lead you through some fundamentals on social media so you can check yourself to make sure that your foundation is good. And then we'll get into the tools of connectivity and amplification to grow. Wow. All right. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, this is a little clunky with the way this is going. Okay. So here are some keys to illustrate social media strategy. So social media is really like a big cocktail party, and you're speaking to someone and everyone is listening. So it's really important to be a good host and to be a good guest. So you need to, you want to invite the right people to the party, right, to listen to you. You need to, as a guest, say thank you and respond to the RSVP, to like, to share. So all of these are all, etiquettes that we're using in life, but it also pertains to social media. It is social. So you need to show up. One thing that you also need to do is show up consistently, and it's quality over quantity. And if it's twice a week, that's great. I'd rather see you with some really good, juicy, tagged posts than, just throwing things up willy-nilly. It's really important. And we'll also, and that's, anyway, quality over quantity. Then, and that's consistency. And then every channel will have a different tone. So in this webinar, we're going to go over how you speak differently on the different channels. And then ultimately, you're going to analyze your data for return on investments. So you'll know pretty quickly where you get the most response and engagement from your clients or alliances. You want to track that. And then you can put your time and prioritize your channels. Clicky click, here we go. Okay, about some fundamentals. So in my agility training, we start here with the goals. Your goals will shape how you show up on social, and you'll have objectives, you'll identify your values, you'll learn tools for content creation, and you'll create a plan. So these are all fundamentals. And before you want to blast out your message, you really want to have your fundamentals really tight. So the first things first, are you clear on your objectives? It really varies, and being clear on them will shape your content and how you engage with your audience. So take a look at these. Oftentimes people that consult with me, some people just want to get traffic to their website. Other people want to be an influencer. Brands may want to get new clients and customers. So depending on what your objectives are, it depends how you're going to show up on these channels. And I also say, before you throw the spaghetti to the wall and see what sticks, you want to get really, really clear on what your core values are. So this is a list. It's page 1 of a list that I send out as an intake to my clients. So if you want this list, email me, I'll send it to you. But it's really important to get really clear on what your values are, because this is going to help infuse your content. So for example, I'm sharing with you my core values. So if you're doing your storytelling well, these values will subtly exude from your content and your images and your language in all of your communication. So it's really important to have your core values. It will infuse into your content and all your communication. So email me for that list if you want it, and you may already have it. All right. So this is a biggie, and this is where people get kind of paralyzed or in paralysis, and then they can't even start. This was a big one for me. So once you're clear on your goals and your brand values, then you can create content that's really cohesive. So the rule of social also, keep in mind that it's fun, it's a little more casual. So it's not hardcore business and selling. It's really acquisition by attraction. So come up with categories for your content and then rotate them. This will keep you on track and not spinning with infinite possibilities. It's also important to keep an eye on the mix aesthetically. So this is an Instagram grid it's the 9 grid, and it's really what someone will look at when they come to your profile, and then they have 3 seconds to decide if they're going to follow you or not. So it has to be really tight and tell your story. This is by Vitalia Inc. I really, love her grid here, and I can really see what she's trying to say in her storytelling. It's about, she's approachable. Her work is elegant, serene. So you want to know what your values are, what you want to communicate, and you want this to show up consistently in your content. So I gave you some categories here, from product shots, trade shows, could be mood boards, work in progress, really close-up details. You can blast out, have a artwork and share of an industry event. And we're going to do that coming up. You can share your organization involvement and also current inspiration. So these will be things that you rotate to keep your storytelling really, really tight. Okay, so now that we have the fundamentals, those are the fundies. And if you need any help with those, you just reach out to me. So how do we share our content and reach our business goals, which may include, driving web traffic to the website, getting new customers. Also, I love the idea of creating a brand experience. So where are the people that you want to reach? Okay, they may be on several channels, but you'll prioritize where you want to hang out for your best return on investment of time. So Facebook has an older demo, and you can see at our trade show that a lot of buyers, a lot of people in our industry are over 40. So a lot of people in our industry are on Facebook. Instagram is very, very design focused. So that's also good for our industry. And it skews a little bit younger, but brands can really shine and tell their story there. Interior designers are very much on Instagram. So LinkedIn is more business to business and is very international. LinkedIn is like this really quiet giant that's been, I don't know, I see a lot more engagement on LinkedIn these days. And then Twitter is more news focused, but if you really want to go international and you want to get press or you want to connect with people, it's really like a broad base. So Twitter is really excellent for that. So I use all of these. I don't use them all the time, but all of these are very important. Now, Pinterest, I wouldn't call it social media. It's more of a search engine that is hugely important. And I'm not going to go into Snapchat or TikTok here, although, TikTok is really something on the rise. It's just not my specialty, but Instagram and Facebook are more where my clients are. So that's where I spend my time. All right. So now I want to walk you through a case study to illustrate how to show up differently on the channels and how to engage differently. So I'm taking the example of ITA's announcements of registration is open. So it really isn't open yet, but I wanted to use a good example. Okay, so native posting is when you post from each channel directly. So I'm not pushing from my Instagram to my Facebook. I'm going to Facebook and I'm posting. I'm going to Instagram and I'm posting. So that's considered native posting. Let's see. And something when it's really something important that I want to share, I always do native posting because every channel will have a different way to tag, and I want to be able to do that properly with like the most amplification and reach. So let's start. I want to start with a Facebook post, and then we'll go on to the different channels. Okay. So the thing about Facebook is that, I'm thinking about my goal. So my goal is to get people to register for Showtime. So I put in the URL, and you can see that here. I put in the URL, but for some reason, the picture doesn't come up. Okay. And this looks like not a very pretty post. I don't think it's going to get a lot of engagement. So I have to revise. What I want to say about this is, in every case, I wanted the engagement with my avatar customer to be frictionless. So there's a little friction here. What I like about the URL when you post it is that you can tap it and it brings you right to the website. This isn't going to happen here. This was a quirk in the Facebook, or it may be on our website that, something wasn't connected. So who knows what it is, but then we have to revise. So Facebook is really quirky like that. So we are going to revise. Okay. So what I did is I revised the copy a little bit, and I put the URL, as you can see, I put click. So I'm giving somebody a call to action to tap the URL to register. I added the artwork. So I clicked out the URL, plain space, and then I uploaded the artwork. And I tagged International Textile Alliance, so they would be notified of my post. So you always want to do that when you're working with, organizations, or if you're reposting something from a magazine or from a client, you always want to tag them so they know that you're shouting out to them. So that's the relationship building part. I included the hashtag, the ITA Showtime hashtag, and I also included some other industry categories. So those are all categories that someone could be searching and they would come up against my post. So all of these tools will help amplify your post. Give me 1 second here. All right. Okay, so one thing that I wanted to note is that you can't always tag people from a business account. So that was from my business account. And if they're not following you, I can't tag them. So if something's important, I really want to shout it out, I'm going to also put it on my personal Facebook. And when I put it on my personal, I'll do it natively, or I can also share it from my business page and then add, this is what I did in this example. And then I add a little, intro to that. But here I was able to tag friends. So I tagged Carrie, I tagged Mendy, I tagged Steve, I tagged Dan Carroll. So those were all people that I was connected to on Facebook. So what happens in this, it's really saying, it's nudging them to share. So they're going to get a notification. It will go on their personal timeline. And so guess what? Instead of just me sending out, now it's on 4 other people's on their walls, so other people are going to see it. So it is something that I use judiciously. And you could see down there, I have, down here, you can see where you put it with the, you're able to tag. So that's how you can tag on the post. So I use it judiciously. I don't bombard all my friends and all my work friends with every single thing that I post. But if it's something that I really want to amplify, I will tag them. And, again, it's just being a good host and hostess and, saying thank you. Another thing that I could do is I could, once the post is up, I could send it to them in a DM and say, hey, this is coming up, please register, or would love if you shared it. So there are multiple ways to do that. Okay, so now we can talk about my favorite, which is Instagram. So it's really in my wheelhouse, and it's the most storytelling channel because it's a visual storytelling. It's very image driven, video driven, and the captions are really secondary. The big drawback is that the URL links that are in the copy, those are dead links. So never put a link in the caption of Instagram, it's dead. And I then have to put it in my profile, so it becomes a second step. But you can have live links in stories. So we're gonna I'm going to show you how to do that. So it's really easy to tag other accounts, whether you're following them or not. You don't have to be following them. So this is how we make new alliances. We find new clients. Like, it's very easy to socialize on the Instagram platform. You have up to 30 hashtags that you can add into your caption, and people follow hashtags. So all of you should be following ITA Showtime, by the way. You should be following that to see any news on ITA Showtime. I also follow trimmings, I follow Passimetry. So follow whatever it is that is your kind of category that you're selling. You're going to want to follow those. And I'm telling you, I've met so many people by following hashtags. So another thing is that you can use the repost app. So for example, if I'm going to repost this ITA announcement of registration is open, then I would use a repost app to get the artwork. And then I would also put all of Carrie's copy and hashtags on my clipboard. So that's really important to do. I can send you what I use for repost if you like. And my number one amplification rule is to always share your post to, and anybody who I've worked with out there knows, stories. You always have to send your post to stories, because there are scrollers, scroll, and there are swipers, and the swipers are going to see your stories. They may never see your posts, because a post is really a drive-by. If it's not up when someone is looking at Instagram, they're never going to see it unless they're tagged, but they're likely to also swipe it as well. Okay, so I'm going to share my Instagram screen now. Let me stop share here. We'll come back to this. Oh, by the way, this is an agility checklist. If you want this is something that I kind of, keep top of mind. You just email me and I'll send it to you. Okay, let me go to stop share, and I'm going to share my screen. Okay. I'm going to share my phone, actually. So I don't know about you, but I'm using my phone today, but I also love to share work on my iPad. Really, really great. Okay, here we go. Let me get this up. Okay, it looks good. It looks good. Okay, let me go back here. All right, so I am in Instagram at this point, and I did a little draft of what I wanted to post because it would take a lot of time to do it. Now, I want to tell you that I spend a lot of time on my posts. Now, sometimes it looks laissez-faire and just so casual, and it can be for certain things, but when it's an important post, I can spend up to 45 minutes to an hour creating that post. So if you think, oh my goodness, Instagram takes me so long, you are not alone. If you're going to do it right, it should take a long time because you want to be thoughtful. So I'm on my screen now. I'm on my profile, and I'm going to go to the plus sign up here, and I'm going to start a post. So now I already preloaded this. Here's the artwork. Here, let's see. So this is what really is what I want to kind of shout out to everyone. But say at this point, everybody's seen this artwork before. And honestly, if it's for my personal branding, if it doesn't have some kind of trimmings in it or embellishment, I really like to reframe the content in a different way. So I want to tell people, hey, I'm going to be on the 5th floor at Market Square for the next Showtime, and I want you to come, I want you to see me, and I want you to see all the textile people. What I may do is I am going to put another picture first and then put the announcement in a carousel because I like the way it's going to look on my 9 grid and tell the story. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I made a little draft of this. Let's bring this up. So say this is part of my trimming collection that I'm gonna launch. Let me get this. Okay, I'm gonna add that. And then I'm gonna add the announcement, the registration is open, right? Okay, so down here, you'll see I have the option to, play around with colors and filters. Now I could do that to my own photography. I would never put another filter on the ITA's photography because they were specific. That's their artwork. I wouldn't do that. But mine I could play around with. So I like, I have some signature filters I like. I like Juno a lot. It's nice and bright. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to press done. And then I'm going to create I need to move this so I can read this a little bit. Okay. So then I'm going to create my post. Now remember, Instagram is very friendly. It's very social. So you'll be seeing lots of emojis. Things are a little more casual. So I said this, hey, Fringe friends, solve your sourcing challenges at International Textile Alliance. Okay, when I social tag International Textile Alliance, I'm basically tapping ITA on the shoulder and say, hey, I'm talking about you. Okay, at ITA Showtime. So that's the official hashtag for the event. So I want to get in there. The largest textile show in North America, emoji calendar. May 22nd, 25th, registration is open. Okay, link in bio. So at this point, I'm going to share the link to registration in my bio because any link I put in here will be a dead link. And if you see that in Instagram post, that's an amateur move, and politely tell the person, link is dead. Okay. Shop fabric leather trimmings and take advantage of industry education and networking and see my new launch of trimmings on the 5th floor. Okay. I see Trim Alchemy in your future. Okay, so I'm a little more lighthearted and fun on Instagram. I wouldn't put something this casual on LinkedIn, so to speak. So, okay, who do I want to see this? So there's some people that I want to shout out to. You can tag up to 20 people in Instagram. So, I want to tag some of the buyers that I want to see. So I'm going to tag Regina, for example. I'm going to tag Louise of Eastern Accents, okay, for example. I may want to tag some industry friends so they can also amplify the event. So I could tag with it, for example, and maybe my friends at WCAA. Maybe I want Jane at Designers Today to think about coming, so I can tag Designers Today. So Designers Today. Okay, so you can see, you can tag up to 20 people. And a little tip, sometimes on Fridays, what I'll do, I'll put a friendly Happy Fab Fringe Friday. I'll do some kind of post and I'll tag the 20 people that I talked to or I worked with that week, just to say, thank you. I'm tapping them on the shoulder. All these people will get a notification that they were tagged in this, and then they will, hopefully like and comment. So once they start liking and comment, like, as you can see, I'm just not like throwing it to the wall. I'm being very strategic about who's going to see this post. Now, they may have seen it anyway, but tagging, I'm just kind of making sure and letting them know that they're special. All right. Okay. So that's tagging. I can do up to 20. I won't waste our time right now. Okay. Done. The other thing, in order to amplify and to have more people see this post, is I have to use hashtags. So because I took the original art from Carrie, from a repost, I also, if she had any copy in that post, I also get the copy and the hashtags. So I also have my unique hashtags, which I already use Fringe Friends, and I used, I don't know, one other one, Trim Alchemy. I keep my hashtags in the notes section of my phone. So when I copied that content from Carrie, these are all her hashtags. So those popped up on my clipboard. I copied them into my notes. So I'm going to copy these. Okay, select all. And these you want to keep, actually, I want to go from there. Okay. And these you want to keep on your notes so you're not reinventing the wheel every time, because you're going to have hashtags that are the same. It may be textiles, fabric design, upholstery, home furnishings, like all of those would be hashtags that you would use over and over. Now, one thing of note is that Instagram doesn't like to see the same hashtags over and over and over again, because then they think you're a bot. So always take a couple out, put a couple in. So for this one, okay, I have Carrie's hashtags here. I like to push them down because it's social. I don't want like the hashtags in your face when you're reading the caption. So what I do is I do a period, return, you do some kind of punctuation, and I push it down so it doesn't look like I'm trying so hard. Okay, I'm gonna tap and hold, and I'm gonna paste. So voila, I have all of her hashtags here, right? So that's great. So anyone searching for converter, this will come up. Anyone searching ITA Showtime, this post will come up. Okay, there's a couple things that I would add, like probably fringe. So I may take out something like, these are all great hashtags, Carrie, these are really good. You did a great job. So maybe, let's see. I'm gonna put in, I'll add in fringe. I don't think we're up to 30 on this. We'll see in a minute. Okay, fringe, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I have my caption. I have tagged people up to 20. I also put in High Point, North Carolina, where it is. That'll also get engagement. And down here, see, I can push to Facebook or Twitter. I'm gonna take that off because we already posted on Facebook and we tagged it properly there. So with all these tags here, the tags of people, those won't show up on Facebook if I push it. So that all has to be done natively. So I'm gonna share that, share. Okay, and then I'm going to, let's see, it may be a little quirky. So here it comes up. All right, here's my post. Here's all my captions. It's fun. You can see here that I have people tagged. When I tap the picture, it shows who I tagged. So that is Instagram. Now from here, and we'll take this off in a minute because I know we don't have registration open yet, but I just wanted to illustrate that. And then boom. Then we have registration is open. So I'm telling the story that I'm going to be there, that I'm aligned with International Textile Alliance. Come see me, it's friendly. We're going to have a creative problem solving time. Okay. So then what's my number one rule? Share to stories. So you take the little send button there. I'm going to add it to my story. Okay. Actually, I'm going to show you this. I can put either of these on my story, right? So I'll probably put both of them. So I can add this one first. And then again, I'm going to tag ITA. So ITA will get a notification and all they have to do is press to add the stories. So I'm going to put at International Textile Alliance. I'm going to put that down here. Let me put that there. I can change the background. I can go to the 3 dots here. I can draw. I can pick up a color somewhere. I really like this aqua color, this deep aqua. If I tap and hold, it'll change the background. And then I can write, whatever I want to write. And down here, you'll have the options of fonts. You want to use a font that's good for your branding. So I'm going to say coming soon. I may just make this a sneak peek. So I could do that, coming soon. Okay, I can go here and put any kind of stickers on it, like I can put a white heart, I can put whatever. I don't want to, get in the, keep go. Okay, so anyway, I can also here, I could tag, say I wanted Regina to see it. I could put Regina, I don't know if you're out there, but I hope you don't mind I use this as an example. Now, if I didn't want other people to see that, I could just drag it down and drag it. So she'll get a little notification. Okay, then I'm getting all these notifications. Hi, Louise. Okay. Okay. Then I can share it to my stories. Okay. So that's my stories. I can take the second one. Now this one I could do in my stories. I'm always I really want it to look fabulous. So I'm going to take the orange, boom, And from there, then I can, for example, I could go to my stickers, I could get the link, I could go to Showtime registration, grab the link and paste it there, and then it would have the link there. We don't have a live link at the moment, so I'm not going to do that. But that actually, let me just, for example, if I go Showtime, ITA, it'll give me, okay, we can go to an overview. So say I just wanted to go to their main website, we can grab that. Boom, boom, boom. I just click at the top, I can copy that. And then I go here, I go to the link. Okay. And then look at, that'll take everyone right to International Textile Alliance. I'm still going to tag ITA because I want people to follow them and I want them to know that I did this. And then I can do, some copy like register today. Register today. So it seems like a little bit of work, but it's really like an extra 5 minutes. Doesn't take too long. Okay, blah, blah, blah. And then I can share that to my stories. Great. Okay, what else did I want to say about that? We'll come back to that if we have any questions. For now, I'm just going to delete these because I don't want anybody to go to, I'll leave the other ones on. That's fine, but I'll delete that for now. Okay, so that is Instagram. Instagram is all about tagging and engagement and creating your visual story. So I'm going to stop share here. And I'm going to go back to our presentation. Hold on, stop share and do a new share. Okay, share, bear with me. Oh, good, that looks good. All right, so that is Instagram. Let's go on to our next slide. Okay, now I want to talk about, hold on, I have my bars in the way there. Okay. So I want to finish up with two more before we take questions. I want to finish up with LinkedIn and Twitter. And LinkedIn is super powerful. And basically anyone doing business, which is all of us, is on LinkedIn. And for posts, it's really more professional in tone, very different from Instagram. And as a business person, I want to solve a problem for somebody. So I wrote, are you ready to solve your sourcing challenges? Well, I'm ready to solve it for you, obviously. Come to the largest textile show in North America, ITA Showtime. I'm giving them the registration link because I didn't like how it came up in the artwork. So I gave them the registration link. Okay, so I can add a clickable URL in LinkedIn, which I couldn't do in Instagram, and I can tag my connections. So for example, I can tag the board. Hello board. We want you to push out this information as well. So I'm able, I added that little extra dash of professionalism that says meet the board. Catherine, Mendy, David, Patrick, Andy, Elise, and also Carmen. I don't think I'm connected to Carmen yet. So Carmen would be on there. So LinkedIn is where you can share content from, not only yourself, but also from your alliances. So you're looking at what your the large industry alliances are doing. You can share their content. It could be HFN, it could be With It, it could be IFDA, it could be ASID, whatever it is. And it's very easy to connect, and it's really easy to direct message people too. I'm direct messaging all day on Instagram, but also much more so on LinkedIn these days. So it's really also the ultimate because you can endorse someone for their skills and that will be reciprocal. So again, when we talk about connecting and forming and growing and alliances, a lot of this is happening on LinkedIn. Quality over quantity. And you could also write someone a reference, they can write a reference for you. So it's a great way to get testimonials. LinkedIn, very, very powerful. If you're not hanging out on LinkedIn a lot, hang out a little bit more on LinkedIn this year. Okay, The next one. Hello, hold on. Okay. The last one I want to talk about is Twitter. So I don't hang out a lot on Twitter, but I do check it kind of weekly. And it's more international, and it's a way to connect with journalists. It's to see news more from a consumer end. And you can, what I love is that you can make lists on Twitter. So it's like a filter. So I have I have client lists. I have a list with, manufacturers that are my clients. I have magazine lists if I want to see what's going on journalistically, at my organization list. So it really makes it easy to get a filtered view of news from each facet of my business. A little story. I run a tour in Venice, Italy called Maker Tourism. And in January of 2019, I was going through a compo with a woman who was helping me with hotels. And she said, Jana, you need to meet Louisella. And she saw her coming. And so we shook hands and we chatted for a second, and we learned we both went to the same school. And then she said what her business name was. It was See Venice. I said, oh, I follow you on Twitter. No way. And we already knew each other. So Twitter is amazing for warm leads like that. Twitter is amazing, very international. A couple things, you have up to 280 characters. So I had to look at my original content, right? And I really had to edit it down. And I also thought about who I would want to share my tweet. So I added HFN, Home Furnishing News Digital, again, Designers Today, WCAA. I want to amplify and connect. So you can do it on Twitter. They would retweet it. So again, it's just like amplify. And all of this takes a little time. This is native posting. Okay, so we are getting to the end here. I want to wrap this up before I take questions. And first, I want to say the only way you can develop your brand voice and amplify your story is with practice. And this will get you close to your business goals. And if you're unsure of something and you're afraid of practicing on social, just do it, because there is a delete button on every channel. So it's really important that you just start and you practice. Next. All right. So growing your expertise and your audience and influence is a result of your content and engagement. It's not a popularity contest. It's quality over quantity. It doesn't matter how many followers you have to begin with. The followers really count once you get into the influencer world. Then you have to have those metrics. But right now, how many clients can you really handle? So for example, Maker Tourism, my account on Instagram has 200 followers. Well, I'm not really worried, because I can only take 8 people a year to Venice. So you have to think about, what your goals are. I want your goal to be amazing content and engagement. That's what I want, because that's acquisition by attraction. So keep your eye on your goal. Next. Like I said, it's important posts take time, sometimes 45 minutes for a simple post, because I want to tag it and hashtag it to maximize the reach. So like I say, cook once, eat twice. Like, I have this content, I want to put it on a couple channels, but I do have to season it differently for any channel. So I can't be on 100 channels, like 100% on every channel. So look at your analytics, see where most of your engagement comes from. Don't completely ignore the other channels, but like me on Twitter, I check in, once a week. I'm not there every day. So you want to go where your customers are and where the accounts are that you want to align with. And as you can see, every channel has its own functionality, has its quirks, and you can push some content to multiple channels, but then you have to go into the channels and you have to revise it. And even in Twitter, you can't edit something you have to delete it. So Facebook, you could edit, but it takes a lot of time. So this is why I want to say, like, when you can, if something's really important, post it natively to maximize the tools of each platform. And I hope you've taken away with the tools that we talked about today that tagging is the most efficient way to connect with your clients and alliances. And between social tags and hashtags, you are nearly guaranteed eyeballs. So without them, your content is one big drive-by. Like, someone has to be looking at the channel when you're posting. So please take the time to tag and to be a good host and guest and engage. And remember that it's social, so it's a little more lighthearted, and you have to change your language for each channel. And I really, really want you to enjoy it, because it really has expanded my world, who I know, domestically and internationally. And if you use it in the right way, it's really going to expand the world. And I'm sure it does to you too already. So Carrie, I'm hoping that we have some questions.
We do. We actually have a couple of really good questions that I'm sure we'll have more while we work through these.
Okay.
So one of the questions is, what do you do with a post that someone has tagged you in? Is it just to like and comment? So like,
it depends.
Yeah,
it depends what the post is. So, oh, you know what? I can stop sharing this. Let's go. If you want to connect with me, this is how you find me. Trim Queen everywhere, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So it really depends what the post is. So if it's something like, say it was an invitation to something, well, it's really an invitation for me, unless I want to amplify it and blast it out. It's really just an invitation for me. So I would be a good guest, right? And I would like the post, and I would comment on the post. And then if it was something that I felt aligned with what I wanted to do and aligned with my business objectives, then I could repost it as well. It just depends on the situation. But at the minimum, yes, you want to like it, heart it, and comment on it, because that's all part of the give and take of connecting.
So along with that question, why on Instagram do you need to use the repost app?
Because that's the easiest way to, if I'm reposting something, I only have to do it if I'm reposting something. If it's native from me and it's my content, I don't need to do it, obviously. But I use it because I get the original photo. It downloads the photo to my, to my Photos app, to my camera roll. Otherwise, if I take a screenshot, it's a diminished photo, right? So I always do that. It downloads it, and it will download all the media in that post. So if it's a carousel, it'll download up to 10 photos. Then I also, again, I kind of got to hijack your hashtags there. So if they have hashtags and they have all of their caption, then it puts it on my clipboard, and I'm able to add that to my post if I want to. But at the minimum, I say, even if I don't use their caption, I always hashtag repost, so someone knows that it's not my original content.
Okay, thank you. Now, this next question is one we've talked about a lot.
Okay.
So this person is new to Instagram and is asking, if you want to post a picture of something you love, like a chandelier or a piece of furniture, what are the do's and don'ts to not get into trouble? Do you
good one.
mention the company that the item is from? Do you tag them? Any tips on share? And I think we talk about this in relation to things at market.
Right, exactly. This is a really, really great question. So if it's something that, it's your original content because you're taking the photo, right? But if it's on your feed, then it's assumed that it's your product, right? Unless you explain it in the caption. So my rule of thumb is that you always say what it is, who it's from. So you always tag the other account as much as possible. Where this can get sticky I see it is when fabric, or in my case, trim, like if I'm in market and I want to show people trimmings, my client may not want people to know that they got that trim from me, for example, like it's their source. So what I kind of did as Trim Queen is it kind of was inadvertent, but I became like the ambassador of trimming. So I wasn't always showing just my trimming, I was showing and sharing application, right? So I could post something and say, look at this beautiful application, I would always tag who the manufacturer was, at Century Furniture, for example. But I don't say, look at my trim, style number 2048. It's just, that's uncouth. The other thing is that if you do want to say, like, this is my fabulous fabric, like, for example, Jill Seal does this a lot. Like, she will show her fabric on a frame, but she has that conversation with the manufacturer about, like, it's okay for her to share it. So you have to either have that conversation, like, do you mind if I share this? Or you make it more, or you make it more general. So but that's only if your account is like that. If you're only showing your product, then it's kind of obvious, like, this is my product on this manufacturer. But you want to be as honest as possible, but you don't want to give away any secrets that someone doesn't want to share. So really, you have to have those conversations. Is that clear?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
What if, though, in that particular case, the picture is from a website, like you saw something on a website that you really liked that you wanted to share?
Oh yeah, then absolutely, you have to tag it. Like,
Yeah.
You have to tag it, because it's not your content and it's not your photo.
Do you have any tips on ways to engage with others, especially in the commenting, that will encourage others to find and follow you without being too obvious?
Oh yeah. So one thing you could do is just reply to every comment. Like, just don't heart it, like really respond. Like, if I have a really important, like, I did an influencer program with Calico, and on those posts, I responded to every single comment, and there were a lot of comments. So the other thing is that I learned, and I learned this from House of Hipster. She's at the Design Influencer Conference. I learned a lot from her. And she says when she has a post that she really wants engagement on, she will get on, say, Instagram, be on it a half an hour, make her post. As comments start coming in, she'll stay on the app for another half an hour, and engage and comment and share. And the algorithm wants to see that you're on the app, that you're using the app. So the more that you can, to answer this question, like, say it's somebody had liked something, you could DM them and just send them a message and say, oh, thanks for your wonderful comment. Love your content. Would love a follow, if I'm your cup of tea, whatever. There's a polite way to say it. It's kind of, think about it again, like back to the cocktail party. It's just a little tap on the shoulder, or it's polite and it's a little lighthearted. It's not so, check out, pattern number 243 discounted to $57 a yard. We're not getting into those granular details. But I have on occasion had someone reach out to me and say, I'd love to show you a product line. Would you be open to seeing it? And yeah, it's my job to see new products. So I said, yes. So there's nothing, but you don't want that to be the first thing that someone says to you. That can be like, after you have a little bit of a relationship going.
Yeah, I think the cocktail party analogy is a good one to keep in mind.
Yeah.
And I also appreciate you mentioning how long it takes, because sometimes I do feel like, wow, this is taking a lot of time. Like, is it reasonable? But so I'm glad to hear you say that it does that for you as well.
Yeah.
I have a question about the LinkedIn professional membership. Do you recommend that as a way to better utilize LinkedIn, or do you feel like the free version does the job?
You know what? It depends on what phase of your business and what your business goals are. If I'm job hunting, then yes, I would like to know who's looking at my profile. If I'm not, then it's not as, it just depends how much you use it. I know there's a lot of education, so it really depends on what your goal is there. Right now, I just have the regular version. But you know, as I ramp up for new business, then I would convert to a more professional version. It's how you use it. The same with Canva. Canva has a free version, but with the pro version, I'm able to resize things. I'm able to get different fonts. So it's really how you use it. The other app I wanted to mention is, so Canva, I actually did the presentation in Canva because I like their design templates. I also use InShot. So Reels are really, really hot right now. We didn't talk about Reels. Like, honestly, like every one of these channels could be a whole hour on to themselves, you know, and I wouldn't mind actually, Carrie, doing like a round table on LinkedIn because I know I have a lot to learn. But InShot I use as a very user-friendly video editing. And then once I have that video and I can download it, then I can post it natively into Reels, and I can post it even into LinkedIn. I could also put music to it and post it on TikTok. So InShot is a really excellent app to have.
Awesome. Well, that is our questions, but thank you so much for doing this. We got a lot of positive comments and people really appreciating the time. And I know that this is always a helpful refresher for me as well.
Yeah, and me too.
Yeah.
Good.
So thank you very much. And again, we will follow up with the recording. And if you have interest in any of the documents that Jana shared, feel free to reach out to her. Again, it's jana@trimqueen.com, or you can reach back out to me and I'll be happy to connect you. But thank you all for joining us.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Carrie. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.